So I leave here in the Job Corps, leave Coos Bay, get up to Albany, Georgia, get off, the bus, and man, it's just hot as hell, man. I was like, oh my god, man, it's hot. I mean, like, take your breath away. I hadn't been out of Oregon in my whole life. I get up to this Job Corps center and they're frisking me and shit. Well, I get into this place and it's nothing but fucking tore up. And it looked like a junkyard, not a junkyard, but it looked pretty trashy. And get up to my dorm and, oh my god, I'm looking around and I'm the only marshmallow. I was like, oh my god, who are these people? Well, I slept with 4 of them, 5 of them. There's 5 other, except for me, I was the only marshmallow out of the raisin pack. So, it's crazy. I slept up against the wall, and when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'd see eyeballs and teeth. So I'd sneak a little closer to the wall. And nobody ever touched me, They say, oh, don't go down to the store. Shit, I walked everywhere in that place. They didn't ever bother me. But I'll tell you what, there was an 800-person riot there. They had to fly helicopters. People down on the helicopters, they were fucking beating up everybody.
Holy.
Throwing shit out the windows.
Wow.
Then I went to Gainesville, Florida, and I had these 4 guys that went with me. 95% of them there was 1,200 people, and 95% of them were white. Marshmallows. And so these 4 guys get in there, and his girlfriend. Well, all they did was fucking sit around popping each other's zits, I mean, she'd be on his back just fucking tooth. She'd have to wipe her glasses off because they fucking sometimes hit her in the face. And they were talking, so we get at this Job Corps center in Florida, Gainesville, Florida. And man, I don't know what they were doing. I took off, I walked away from them, got my room, and I was walking around, checking it out, seeing what was all there. And I get back to my room, and they're laying in their bed, their bunks. There was 1, Nathan, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 5 other guys. Well, one of them weren't there, so it had been 7. Well, I unlocked my locker and sat down in the seat, and I'm up against the wall. The door's right here, and the light switch is right there. Well, I 5 black folks come in. Raisins? Man, oh man, I don't know. And the other guy stood outside, and I was like, oh shit, something freaking happened. These guys they ain't happy, man. These guys are all laying in their bunks. I was like, man. So they're blah, 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 blah. And so one of them turned out the light, and I reached back, turned it back on. Because all you see is eyeballs and teeth, man, when they're smiling. And so he turns it off again, and I reached back, turned it back on. Did it about 3 times, man, and that 4th time, man, I had my lock, it's one of them locks you take off, and you can't take the key out until you lock it back up. Well, I had it around my neck, and I stood up, and I went like that, turned it back on, and I seen them coming, and I said, whoa, and I ducked down, man, they were hitting me on the back like little kids. I was like, what the hell's going on? Who's hitting me? And those guys, at this time, them guys were laying in their bunks, freaking out. And I was the only one. Well, for some odd reason, they took off, and the guys opened up the door. Somebody's coming! So they took off. And them guys were all, ah! They're just about the same age as I am,
Yeah.
And they were fucking hoofing and puffing. I said, you should have never talked about a fucking rebel flag, man, you stupid fuckers, man. I mean, they were just on and on and on about the rebel flag. And there's raisins everywhere.
Wow.
And it was crazy.
Just heavy tension all the time, huh? Underlying.
No, not for me.
But in the community, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then there was another riot. They were beating up dorm staff.
Wow.
They had to get the cops in there. We just stood back by the, probably from here to the McKays there.
Yeah.
The old McKays. But we just sat back there and watched it.
Just watch it go down.
Yeah, they were fucking beating them up and everything.
Because I remember talking to you years ago on Facebook, and I was like, and we were kind of talking about how it's kind of, you felt like it was kind of reverse racism, but that no one really fucked with you.
Yeah, nobody fucked with me, man.
Yeah.
It was awesome. They called me Smiley. Everybody called me Smiley. Every raisin called me Smiley.
That's awesome. But dude, you've always been that way. You're always the guy that got along with everybody.
I used to drive a crummy truck every Monday at about, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I used to drive it from, I think it was like 150 miles, 200 miles, like
Right.
from here to Portland.
Yeah.
Every morning. You know, not every morning, only on Monday, and then I'd come home on the weekends sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we went into this place we was clearing out. We was moving the overburden off of the rock, you know, rock quarries.
Right.
And it was crazy. And we had to sign in every morning, you know.
Yeah.
So our boss man done it for us. So he comes out and he says, "Well, we got to turn around." I said, "God damn." He said, "God damn, we got to turn around." He said, I said, "Well, what for, man?" He said, "There's too many raisins and not enough marshmallows."
Really? He was
Yeah.
afraid that we go south.
Yeah.
Once you're outside any kind of distance of safety, then it would just become a bad
That's
deal.
crazy. Yeah. To those guys, it wasn't really. You didn't really notice it.
Yeah. Well, to the guy like you would never notice it because
No.
you get along with everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Can't help it. Sometimes they, especially when you speak your mind. Sometimes
Yeah.
people don't like it around here.
Right, right. Dude, my whole life of knowing you, the people who didn't like you
And you know,
were the people that their girlfriends really liked you, and that's the reason why they didn't like you. And that was the extent of it, you know.
yeah, it's crazy.